Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. We are going to be doing an arc vlog because why not? I read a lot of arcs. If you guys don't know what arc is an advanced reader's copy. So you basically get the book before the book is actually published to everyone else. And you get it for your review. So I just write a review on it. It's always my honest review. I don't ever lie about a book. If I don't like it, I don't like it. The first book that we are going to be reading, because I set myself up at the end of this month. So I have 3 arcs that all come out literally by the end of this month. I think this week coming up, 2 of them come out. One is A Thousand Broken Pieces by Tilly Cole. If you guys read A Thousand Boy Kisses, this is a sequel. So we're following her sister and a new love interest in this one. And I'm really excited because I literally bawled my eyes out. A Thousand Boy Kisses, like literally the whole book, I was crying, like sobbing uncontrollably. It was like so bad to the point where like my husband was like, you need to stop reading it and take a break. And I'm like, yeah, no, we're pushing through this because why not? Let's just torture myself some more. So that's kind of just how that is going to be going. I have a feeling this is going to be we're following her, I can't remember what sister it is, but we're following her middle sister, I believe it is, and we're seeing her going through the grieving process. She's in therapy because 4 years later she still cannot cope with losing Poppy, and I have a feeling I'm gonna probably bawl my eyes out in this book as well, just because I'm currently going through the grieving process, so I'm gonna be able to relate to this book a ton, which is kind of making me sad just thinking about it. Then we also have A Violent Agenda, which is a series by Mallory Falk, and this is like the complete series, so books 1 through 4 in it. So I need to get a read on that one after A Thousand Boy Kisses. A Thousand Boy Kisses, A Thousand Broken Pieces, because A Thousand Broken Pieces comes out on Tuesday. So we're getting into this. I'm a little behind. This is what A Violent Delight looks like, or A Violent Agenda. Reverse harem, not really sure what the plot is about it. I kind of just seen reverse harem and I was like, yeah, I'm signing up for it. Especially for authors that I know that I love and I already read some of their books and I know how their writing are, then I know that I'm going to enjoy it. But sometimes I just sign up randomly if the plot sounds good or if it's something that really interests me, then I will sign up for it. And this one did, because I seen reverse harem, dark romance. I was like, oh, it's hitting a couple of my boxes. So let's just get the arc for it and read it. Then we have at the end of the month that comes out, but I already got the arc for it, is So Real by Abby Millsap. Oh, this series, guys, is everything. I got the first arc for it and I absolutely devoured it in a day. Her writing is just so easy. And this one we're following Hunter and her group. It's a reverse harem as well. We're dealing with mental health, toxic people in her life, just a lot of deep things in this book that off the rip of it, if you don't really know what's going on, then you're kind of just like, oh, this is silly. But as it goes on, you realize like, wow, she's really dealing with a lot. And we're getting past and present in this one. We're getting her ex relationship, but he's her stepbrother. So it's just a lot going on and a lot that in So Real it's starting off. I know it's gonna hit with a bang because of how it ended in the last one. So I'm really excited about that. So those are like the 3 arcs that we're gonna be reading. 6 books we're gonna try to read this, not this week, but like throughout this vlog. So we're gonna see how that goes and how my reactions are gonna be and all of the above. I am super nervous for A Thousand Broken Pieces. I'm not gonna lie, I already started it. I'm like on chapter 3 and I already had tears coming down. So I know that it's gonna be very emotional. And I love how I'm like, I already started, but I can't remember the characters' names. That's the story of my life. I literally forget everything. Like I said, one thing to know about me, I suck at remembering names. In this one, she is getting sent to travel with other kids that are in therapy that have lost someone very important to them and that are struggling to cope. She's already 17 years old and they haven't found anything to really help her cope. So they're hoping sending her on this retreat and traveling with other kids around her is going to help her. She's going to Harvard in the fall. They're really hoping that she's going to be able to cope and be able to go to it, because even being at home now, she's really not coping. She hasn't for the last 4 years. And then I believe his name is Cal, is Cael. He lost his brother a year ago. And from what I'm getting, it sounds like he might have lost him from suicide, just because of how angry he is, just from the clues that we're getting. I'm not 110% sure about that. You can tell it's something very tragic. Cal used to be a hockey player just like his brother. He also is going to, or was going to Harvard, but he put everything on pause. He doesn't want to go to college. He doesn't want to do anything. He is just very, very angry. He has done a whole 360 in his life. He's tatted up, pierced up now, just like not a bad, I don't want to say he's a bad boy, but like I feel like that's what he's trying to persuade the people who have known known him in his life that that's what he is now. He's just not dealing well at all. So I want to see what's going to happen when these two characters come together, bond over losing a sibling, because that's what the bond's going to be, over losing a sibling and how it affected them and things as such. I don't know how I would cope. Oh my god, I'm about to start crying, even though nothing has ever happened to my siblings, but I don't know how I would ever cope losing a sibling. I'm very close to my family. One thing I love about Jordan is that he is very close to his family as well. So this whole thing is probably going to make me, so I don't know how I would cope, how I'm going to cope reading this, to be quite honest. I'm probably going to be in tears again. Tilly Cole just knows how to bring out my tears. My tear ducts just go crazy for her and her writing. So that should be interesting. So I'll update you guys here in a little once I get more deeper. But I have been bawling my eyes out. We got to a part where she is on the retreat, and oh sorry, I didn't say what her name was. Her name is Savannah. She's finally opening up a little bit more, and she finally got to a point where now she wants to open the journal that Poppy gave her, the note that Poppy has left her in it, and I burst out crying. I cannot imagine losing a sibling, but if I ever did lose one, I think I'd be as heartbroken as her, probably like forever. She's coping with it the best as she can, but I think what really hit her is that like Poppy hit it on the nail in her letter to her, knowing that she wasn't going to be able to cope with losing her well at all, and kind of just shut down and stop living life. And that's basically what she has done. And we still have Cal, who's angry as hell and kind of just is having these bursts of angers at people, realizes that it's wrong, but he can't help but like not do it. So they're both really struggling at this point, realizing like she wants to help others. Like she knew that that's what Poppy would want, and she's having like that feeling in her heart like that's what she is meant to do, is help the others around her. Very sad, very heart like tugging, like wrenching, and it's like makes me want to just sit here and like cry. Obviously because of her story, but obviously with me just losing my abuela not that long ago as well. I'm kind of struggling to get through it. I'm 24% into it. As you can see, it's dark out. I haven't really read much today. We're outside teaching the girls how to ride bikes and things like that. I'm finally sitting down and taking my time to read and catch up on YouTube and things as such. Reading. And then my heart is just really hurting right now. And it's making me miss Poppy and Rowan's story. Just like to see how close she is with her siblings is how close I am with my siblings. So like I said, I can't imagine ever losing a sibling like that to an illness that's so cruel to so many people. Yeah, I don't know how people cope with it. I know there will be a point in time where you're gonna just start losing loved ones, but I just can't imagine, like at all. I can't imagine that ever happening to me. I'm gonna keep reading and making myself cry because somehow Tilly Cole always makes me cry in her sad books like this. The way that Tilly Cole can switch from being so sad and sweet to freaking dark and romance and all of the above. I don't know how you do it, girl, but props to you because I really I have barely read today. I am 45% into it, so I have about 5 hours and 44 minutes left in the book. I am determined to finish it before I go to bed tonight. If I have to stay up a little bit later, then so be it. But just so that I'm not rushing. I also am looking at a pile of clothes in front of me that I have to do, but I don't want to do. I've been reading here and there, like one page here, one page there, and we're kind of seeing their relationship form more. And their counselor kind of had a talk with them and was like, you know, if you guys break any of the rules or anything like that, then you guys are gonna end up losing your spot here. We don't want that to happen. They're not against them having a relationship, but they want them to know that like you guys being here, it's for yourself. It's so that you can do the therapy for yourself. So therapy first, relationship second, and kind of just giving them advice like, hey, like don't go into not saying don't, but like, you know, going into a relationship with all these other issues and not fixing yourself before going into that relationship honestly probably isn't gonna make the relationship last. So they're kind of just being honest with them, but they're building this chemistry between them. They're sharing their heartaches with one another. It's so beautiful to read, and I've cried a couple times in the journal just because you see how sweet Poppy was, how full of life she was, how loving. She loved her family so much. So just seeing that, it just hurt a little for them, especially her just knowing what Savannah's going through and how she has been dealing with the death of Poppy. And basically, to be honest, she hasn't dealt with it at all. So seeing her on this retreat and opening up about it, it's a beautiful thing. thing to witness, to see her trying to overcome all that, and then getting also Cal to do something like that as well is a beautiful thing to know that she's able to help someone else by her kindness and how she was up, how she was brought up and just how she is as a person as well. So I'm just really enjoying where it's going so far. And yeah, so I'm about to read some more and watch Love Island. Hey guys, so I'm back with another update. I did not finish 1,000 Broken Pieces last night. You know what? Every time I say that, I end up not finishing the book that I really want to finish. But what I'm loving so far about in this book is that we're learning about different religions kind of throughout the way, how different religions deal with death, and not even religions but like different like continents deal with death, how the places that are visiting are showing them different things about themselves and about how dealing with death, and how it doesn't always have to be mourning someone, but it could be a celebration and different things. And I'm really liking the way that Savannah is kind of just taking everything in and kind of just like letting it seep in and kind of relating each thing to how Poppy would have loved, or how like these little things are reminding her of Poppy, but it's not making her sad, it's making her happy to be able to think about her sister. But then we're also getting the small parts where it's like she's scared to let go of Poppy, scared died. But like, thought I would show you guys, like my eyes are swollen, so please do not mind them. It's from a mascara I wore yesterday for the official first time. I love that we got to see different points of people in their grief. Like I said, Cal was very angry, Savannah was dealing with anxiety, not being able to like talk about Poppy without like physically like and mentally just crumbling and breaking down to the point where it was like devastating. So throughout their journey, we're definitely seeing them overcome. I want to say you've seen a lot of improvement with all of them. What was it, in India, because they're learning about the India religions and how they deal with death and how they celebrate death, and it was just such a unique experience for all of them there. Then we have the Philippines, where they were in action and got to see people who dealt with the death that they experienced. They're getting to like experience survivors of that and things like that, so that was very heartbreaking to read about. And then Japan is where they're kind of just saying goodbye to their loved ones, and as the story's going on, you see that all the other characters are progressing in becoming okay and finally accepting the grief and saying goodbye to their loved one. And when I'm saying goodbye, I'm saying like not keeping them clutched in your heart and like you not being able to like physically do things or be scared to go out in the world, or like it's holding you back in a sense. Like it's literally physically and mentally hurting you at this point, that you have to let it go and be okay and know that like no matter what, that person's always going to be in your heart. They're always going to be with you because they're always going to be a part of you. And Cal, throughout the book, you see him struggling really hard with accepting having to say goodbye to his brother, and as you're reading you understand why that is. So it was just really unique. Like I said, I'm currently grieving over a grandparent, and it kind of just opened my heart, gave me peace throughout reading it and just accepting it. Obviously, my grandmother obviously died unexpectedly, but she lived a long, fulfilled life, so it wasn't as tragic as what we're reading about. I think there's a difference in that as well. I do love that we got to feel Poppy's love in here, and every little thing that happened, it kind of just reminded you of Poppy. And in a sense, it's good because we wanted that for Savannah, for little things for her to realize, like, hey, like Poppy would have loved that, or I have this feeling that Poppy's here with me, or like little just things like that that she couldn't before. We see her progressively being able to relate back to Poppy. Also, Poppy left her a journal that was beautiful, by the way, and she knew that Savannah was gonna struggle the most with her losing Poppy and dealing with grief and not being able to cope, and she literally left her a ton of passages trying to help her with her grief and overcoming it, and kind of just letting her know like I'm okay. My last days were okay. I was at peace, kind of. We got to see a little bit of Ruin in here. I love the little parts that we got to see of Ruin and his bond with Poppy's sisters, because we didn't really get to see that lot in 1,000 Boy Kisses, so in this one we did get to see that. I just really overall enjoyed it. I loved the main characters. I loved how they came together during this grief journey, but didn't let them coming together stop them trying to better themselves and get over the grief that they're feeling. Even though honestly at the end of the day, you're never gonna get over grief. Losing a loved one, it's always gonna stay in your heart and you're always gonna kind of feel it a little. Just learning how to cope with it in the best possible ways without letting it hold you back from everything else in life. So I have a couple quotes, or at least one quote in here that I really wanted to share with you guys. So I just loved it. Like I literally need to get the physical book of this at this point, because chef kisses. Thank you, Tilly Cole, because everything was amazing. Okay, this is the one that I really love. It says, love didn't die. It was eternal. It was a tattoo on our souls, a gift that even death could not take away. If you have been loved, even if you have lost. That love will never leave. It will fill your heart and patch over the holes that grief leaves behind. And this is from Ruin. I travel the world and take pictures for her in her honor. She gives me purpose every day, and that helps me keep going, helps me stay away from the darkness of grief. His lip pulled up fondly at the side. Poppy taught me that, how to cherish and love life. Even with her gone, I owe it to her to live for the both of us. I promised her and would never break my promise to my girl. And then this one, I just love Ruin because there's no way I won't see your sister again someday. I know I'll be with my girl once more. I'll get to kiss her again and hold her close. I'll get to hear her laugh and hear her play the cello. I'll get to sleep beside her, just be with her like we always should have been. And all the years we have had to spend apart will fade to dust. Stop, I'm about to cry again. I did cry multiple times throughout this book, but this is a solid 4.5 stars for me. I absolutely loved it all. I loved all the characters. Now I'm wondering, because obviously we know what happens to Ruin at the end of 1,000 Boy Kisses. So I wonder if we're gonna get a book of, I feel like Ida and his brother were kind of the same age, so I wonder if that's gonna be like a love interest there or what's it gonna be. Excited that I got to read this book and I got the arc, and I'm very thankful to Valentine PR and Tilly Cole for that, and I really enjoyed it. Tug at my heart, and I think this story and 1,000 Boy Pieces are probably gonna always be one of my favorites at this point. It was just so well written and I loved it, obviously. Now on to the next book, and like I said, in this arc it's 4 books and 1 big book. If this is just a reading vlog, but if I look just so out of it today, I feel like I'm just going through a lot all over the place today. I look like I'm tired, but my eyes are just swollen. Today's just a bad parenting day. I'm just having a really hard time today with my kids. And I feel like I never share that, but like it's the honest truth. My oldest is talking back and not listening just the most. I kind of wish that, I don't know. I feel like as a parent, you criticize yourself a ton, and I think that's just what I'm doing today. I'm just having a hard day with all of them. Let's get back to what I was saying, what we're gonna read next. Well, the next arc we are reading is A Violent Agenda, which is a series. It's a complete book in 1 arc. Does that make sense? Like a complete series in 1 book. The first book that we are reading is A History of Violence, and what I'm getting from this, I'm just gonna read what the summary is of it. It says, fire burns the worst sins. Trust is overrated. Killing for pleasure is messy, bloody, chaotic. He was supposed to die, but now I have him where I want him. I can't help but taste him a little. All of them. They've gotten under my skin, these sacred heart boys. The way they look at me, a need, a hunger, clawing inside. I recognize it in the mirror. In their eyes, they tell me they don't give a fuck if they live or die, that I'm the prey and they're the carnivores, that they're soulless. But in the end, they all beg, violent, bloody, and raw, because I'm the real monster. They don't know it yet. What I'm getting is that she's a serial killer, okay? But she only kills the people that obviously do wrong, that are molesting or, you know, doing wrong to others. She kills them. That's what I'm getting from this. We already could tell by that. It's gonna be dark. It's gonna be probably bloody and messy and all of the above. I've never read a book by this author, Mallory Fox. So how it starts, I'm gonna start reading it right now this morning, because this whole 4 books need to be read by Thursday. I need to get reading, by Friday, I mean. So I need to just read along and do that. But first I need to rate my arc for 1,000 Broken Pieces, because that needs to come out today. So that's what I'm going to be doing today, as well as reading. I am reading A History of Violence. Viola, who's the main female character, is basically a hitman / serial killer. She basically kills guys that take advantage of younger girls. She takes them out. Like, it's her thing. I think she's also a sociopath because she doesn't have any feelings or anything like that. She feels some things but not all things, and she is basically on a job right now trying to kill someone who brutally raped and murdered a girl at Sacred Heart Academy. This whole book, well, that's what the school is like known for. This whole book is basically following a group of mafia kids, and she's at an academy where these kids go to and their family owns. So she's trying to figure out exactly what's going on. She feels like one of the guys, I think his name is Lorcan, that what she thinks she's supposed to, he's the one that has the hit on him. He's a duke, and she's trying to figure out if he's truly the one who killed Aurora and things like that. But somehow I think she's a part of this world because she's terrified of her father finding out where she is, taking her again. So I think she once was a part of this world, and is just trying to like stay out of the light. So she's obviously undercovered. There's some other guys that she's feeling tension with. We have Dino, who's kind of like the sweetheart, or Dino, who's kind of like the sweetheart. Him, who's like Brody, alpha male, doesn't really care, like he thinks he's top dog because his family owns a lot of shit and is very high in the mafia world and things like that. And those are the only two that we have really seen. Oh wait, Jude, we've seen Jude too, and he's more of like the reckless wild one and very impulsive, but is very angry as well. We have no, so I don't know who's all gonna be in her harem, but like those are good options so far. So yeah, that's kind of what the premises of the book is going on right now. She's wild. She is older than them. I think they're all 17, at least that we know of right now. They're all 17 and she is 23, I believe. This is so far has been very, very dark. It started off with her killing someone, so very, very dark. And if this is not your vibe, then do not pick it up because you probably are not gonna like it. This is a dark romance girly who loves the blood and gore and all that stuff while reading. Maybe doesn't like it, but like it doesn't really like trigger them or anything. There's a lot of talk of rape and things like that, so trigger warnings for all that type of stuff. Continue reading now. Okay guys, so I wanted to update you guys on a history of violence, and I am devouring it. I am loving it. It's like a slow burn. She has this instant connection with Lorcan. They're drawn to each other because of both of their darknesses. Like they can see it in each other, so she knows what she's gonna get with him. But she also likes Jude and Dino. And then we have Dante that is just like her. He's a hitman. I feel like he's a sociopath as well. Not really much feelings. He's kind of just all about the job and that's it. Things are definitely getting interested. She went with her gut and she's looking farther into the situation, and she's finding out that these kids are basically in a world of shit and she wants to get payback for them now. So there's just a lot going on right now and I'm just eating it up. I'm literally about to be done with the first book and obviously I'm gonna hop right into the second one. And okay, I see you. So the smut is smutting. Yes, it is in this book. A History of Violence by Mallory Fox. This is book 1 in the whole A Violent Agenda. So in this one, we're really getting kind of like the just figuring out the characters, just figuring out what's going on in the story kind of. So we're following her, Viola, and in here she is hired to kill Lorcan, Lorcan, probably butchering that, because he apparently killed someone at his prep school. And I do not know how to say this school's name, but they also go by Sacred Heart Preparatory Academy. She's playing her role, but she knows him from when she did a job for his father to find him. So she's trying to like play it easy, but it's kind of hard because he recognizes her but doesn't know how he recognizes her. So you're kind of seeing this back and forth between them, and this is a very dark book. Like you are getting details of killings and what she's doing to them and how she does what she does to them. So if you have a squeamish, is that how you say that, stomach, then I wouldn't recommend reading this. Or if dark romance isn't your thing, just skip over the next couple minutes of me explaining what this series is about. And I mean, it's going. I really enjoy dark romances, and I like this aspect that she is the one who's taking charge and is a serial killer and kind of doing right for all the SA victims and things like that. But she also is falling for the guys. So far, there's also Dino and Jude. They are all very high up in the mafia world. Like their families are all in the crime business. This school kind of caters to them, and they basically can get away with anything. It looks like there's this SA ring going around in this town or school. I personally think that their parents are also involved in it and still don't even know. So I'm excited to see where the rest of the series is going to go. I'm going to go with this book being a 4 stars for me just because we didn't get all the details that we wanted, but I know that we are eventually going to get them. So I'm excited to see what the rest of the series has to offer me. And you guys know, oh my god. So I forgot to mention that throughout this book, we get to a part she knows but doesn't know that he's the one who did it to Aurora. But she also ends up getting Aurora's diary. So in this diary, we're getting to read some passages from Aurora, and I just read one, and the ending, no, 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 no. The Duke, their dad, that's literally how I feel. Wow, I was not expecting that whatsoever. Done for. I'm done for because, wait, what? Like, no. And it's sad because I feel like situations like this actually happen in real life when people get adopted or are fostering kids or things like that. Like, tragic things like this book and like that whole world of a system is shit. Let's be honest. I'm not gonna get into that. Going back and forth with people, I get it. Some people who obviously really do foster kids and adopt kids are really loving and are sincere and do not do what shitty people do out in the world. Oh my god, like my mouth was on the floor because I don't know why that did never cross my mind what just happened in the book, but I don't know why it didn't. I have nothing to say. That's all I have to say. Go read it to find out why my mouth is literally on the floor, because I did not, like, I don't know why that didn't cross my mind. That should have been one of the first things that crossed my mind, especially knowing everything that we know about the Duke family. Like, it should have been the first thing that crossed my mind. Like, I can't, I have no words. I have no words. And I'll be back to update you guys once I start the second book. Like I said, I'm about to be done with the first book and I just rated it because that's just kind of how I feel. I don't think anything's going to change my mind from the 4-star. Really on the last chapter now. And then we'll jump right into the second book, which is called A Legacy of Sorrow. I love books that just end in cliffhanger. Okay, I have a love, I think I say this in almost all my videos, my vlogging videos, if it ends in a cliffhanger. I have a love-hate relationship with cliffhangers because, I mean, yeah, it freaking leaves my mouth on the floor half the time, but then also I need to jump right into the next book, and good thing this is an arc that I do need to do that. But I also hate that when, like, the whole series is not out yet and you try to hit in the book ends in a cliffhanger. Why you do that to me? Like, it literally makes me want to just go to the screen and be like, can you just please give me the next book? Like, I deserve it. Obviously I don't deserve it because I'm not better than anyone else, but I'm like, I need it to, like, I need it to fuel me up so that I know, like, because I'm the type of person that when I get invested in a series, I'm invested. Like, I'm part of the characters. Like, that's me. I'm in there with them. I don't know if anybody else is like that, but like, I get very invested when I read and I get very emotional and attached to the characters. It's probably unhealthy to an unhealthy level, I want to say, but like, it's okay because it's not hurting anyone. And I honestly think that's why I fly through books, especially series that I really, really like, because I'm invested. We're in this together, girls and boys and alpha males and everything else that's in books. Like, we're doing it together. That's it. So I'm gonna go and figure out what the hell's about to happen. I'm here to update you guys. So I'm on book number 2 in the Violent Agenda series. My face is red just because I just got done running on my treadmill. I'm trying to get back into running and let's just say going. But I came to update you guys. In this one, we see that she has a list of people that she kind of wants to take out, and she has a new employer, but then she's also worrying about her ex-mentor, and there's just a lot going on. I feel like my skin is definitely glowing, and I don't know why. There's just a lot going on. And she's struggling with trying to understand her relationship with the guys. Like, we know for sure that she likes them all, but like, she's more comfortable with, I don't know how to say his name, I'm gonna just call him Lore. I'm just giving him a nickname, Lore, because they kind of like understand each other. She sees the same darkness that she has in her and him, so they kind of like bond, and he kind of gives her what she needs because he kind of knows what she needs, if that makes any sense. And then we have Dino, who is just a sweetheart, but like, he has this dark side to him too that I think that she fully has not grasped, but like, he has morals. Does that make sense? Like, he doesn't like her constantly killing people or doing things like that, so she's struggling with that aspect of him. And then we have Jude, who is literally, he's a cannonball. Like, he's like wild, all over the place, reckless. That's the one word I'm going to describe him as, reckless. He is reckless, gives no shit. He's a hornball. He's constantly sleeping with other girls and just doing it all, and a hot mess 24/7. It's understandable from the first book what we learned what they all have been through. And then we have Dante, who's her ex-mentor, and low-key I think they have a thing going on and they just never really explored that because it never came up, and now like little things are happening that are coming up and she's like into it. Like, when I say she's dark, like, she's dark. Probably one of the darkest females I've ever read, and that's saying something because I read the Mindfuck series, and if you have read that, then you know that she was dark, and I think this one's darker than her, and I'm all for it. She just has a list and she's trying to kill all these people up. Still don't really know about her background or like her family or anything like that, but I know she keeps mentioning her dad. I'm guessing her dad used to abuse her or some sort of a thing, and now I hope in this one we learn more about that. And we still have 2 more books to go. I have no clue where I'm at in this book. I'm on chapter 18, and there are 30 chapters. I'm hoping to finish this here soon, maybe like the next 2 hours, and then jump into A Promise of Torment, which is book number 3. I wish I could say more, but I can't really say much. I think that's the struggle with when you vlog and you try to talk about series. It's because it's so hard, because there's so much you want to say, but you can't really say much. You don't want to give anything away from the previous books. Okay, and this one, she also is trying her hardest not to lose her shit. Like, she's trying to control her inner demon and her bloodthirst. She's really trying. I don't know, I think she's gonna explode here soon, so I'm waiting to see that happen. I'm waiting to see her explode, because that would be nice to see, right? To see her explode. Patiently wait. Okay guys, so I finished A Legacy of Sorrow, which is book number 2, and I ended up giving that one 4 stars too. I think I'm just getting a little confused with the timeline. I feel like it jumps a lot near the end of the book, where you're just like, where the hell am I? And then sometimes it'll be like, yeah, 2 weeks later, or like months later, or like I think in the 3rd book that I already started last night, it's like 2 months later, which, okay, then I know, but sometimes I don't even know, and I'm just like, where are we in the timeline? Like, what's going on? Because it is a fast-paced book, just because it's not that long of a book. The goal was to finish book number 3 and number 4 today, so that maybe later on in the day I can post my review on it. I mean, obviously if I don't post my review today, it's okay to post it tomorrow, but I really wanted to post it today on the release day. So yeah, it's going. It's very dark. We're seeing a different side to how she's reacting to the boys, and she's not really understanding why she's reacting the way that she reacts, because she doesn't have feelings and things like that, so it's kind of hard for her to process everything. So I think that's why it's taking her a little bit longer, not that to see like that connection with the guy, because I see it, but it makes sense that since we're getting a lot of her POV, that she is the way that she is towards them, if that makes sense. Because I mean, if she was all in for all of them, then it's weird. Slowly starting to accept that, hey, like, you know, I want them and I don't plan on losing them. And I think she thinks that way because she hates losing as well. I think she struggles a lot with Dino, because he has like that moral that's like, he never wanted to be in his family business and deal with that dark side of things, but then he has her, which he really likes and loves, and he's dealing with like her dark side, not even her dark side because she's dark all the time, but like just a darkness in her, and trying to come to terms with basically accepting her fully. Kind of seeing with Dino and her relationship, her and Jude, they like crash together whenever they do get together, and then her and Lore, that's what I said I was calling him, they're kind of like almost the same, if that makes sense. And then we have Dante, who's literally basically like her twin at this point. He doesn't enjoy, like, he kills to kill, but like it's not all and everything like it is for her. Like, she actually needs that. He doesn't. He low-key really cares for her, and I think he has more feelings for her that he doesn't let show. But we're finally learning more in the 3rd book about her family and like what that all is involved. See how the rest of that book is gonna go, and then how it's all gonna wrap up. It's going, guys. So book number 3 is A Promise of Torment. I hope it's her getting her payback for everything her father and everyone else has ever done. Okay, so I just wanted to update you guys on the book that I'm currently reading. Sorry, I'm in my bathroom hiding from my kids, but I want to hiding from my kids. I love it. My husband's out there. Somehow they always just want the mom, you know? You know what I mean. So I am on the 3rd book in here, which is called, oh yeah, A Promise of Torment, and we are on chapter 18, and there's just a lot of just shit going on. I think my biggest issue that I'm having while reading this is that, like I said, like I feel like we jump times, but like when we jump, it's not letting us how much time it is, but like it's the way, I don't know how to explain it. It's the way that it's like jumping. It's just very weird to me, and I'm not really understanding like why. It's just not flowing like how it should flow, like when that time jump. You know what I mean? If you know what I mean. If you don't, then I don't know what to say, because I don't know how to explain it. It's just not flowing like I thought it was gonna flow when the time jumps, like when because we're not really going in the past at all, we're just going forward. But yeah, in this one we're seeing her really struggle with her emotions, but also her questioning why she's missing the guy so much, even like questioning what the guys even mean to her and things like that. We are learning more about her dad, because we're seeing a lot more of her dad in this one. This world is just such a fucked up world, and I hope by like the end of book 4, like we get all our answers answered, and I hope that they accomplish what they want to accomplish, and I hope in a sense she finds some peace, even though she's so traumatized, and obviously from being traumatized, and probably has PTSD and doesn't even realize. Like, I don't know if she's actually like a sociopath, like she literally just has no feelings, or like if she was just raised that way and now she thinks she doesn't have any feelings, and now when she's getting the feelings she's kind of questioning like, wow, like this never happened before, but then again she never had a reason to want to feel those feelings. So I'm just a little conflicted if she's actually a sociopath, or if like it was like being out of her, and that now that she's feeling these things for these guys, it's more than more than she can actually handle now, obviously. So there's just a lot going on. We meet her cousin in this one. Her cousin, it seems just as crazy as her. Maybe not on like the sociopath level, but like she's very sneaky, willing to do anything. And I just honestly, I'm just not a fan of Lily, to be quite honest. In this book, they are trying to find her mom. So that's a big topic in this book. I hope that they end up killing Dino's brother because he deserves everything that's coming for him. He's a piece of shit. And Dino is such a sweetheart that he deserves like everything and more. And I can't wait to see them all as a cohesive group. I wonder if that's ever gonna happen. I'm not really sure. It's really just kind of all over the place. Like her feelings are just all over the place. That makes me feel all over the place. So yeah, I just wanted to update you guys on that. I'm hoping to finish book number 3 tonight. I think there's like only 29 chapters in this one, and then we go on to book number 4, which is A Destiny of Carnage. I did not finish this today like I wanted to. Today is Friday. Today's this is the day that the book is re-released because this series is already out. I think they're just re-releasing it because it has new covers today. So I'm gonna really try and strive to get the books done and read tonight so that tomorrow morning I can upload on my Instagram my review and on Goodreads and Amazon and all those good places so that it is up and going. And obviously you guys are going to see this a week later. The arcs are already out, so all these books that I'm talking about are all going to be on Kindle Unlimited as well. So if you do have Kindle Unlimited and any of these books interest you, definitely go to KU and check them out and read them because honestly I'm flying through this series, to be quite honest. It's very entertaining. So I will talk to you guys once I'm finished with the book to give you guys my rating and everything that I'm feeling afterwards, and then we'll jump into book number 4. This quality is going to suck and I'm so sorry, but it is obviously later than usual and I'm just kind of in my reading nook right now. I'm on book number 4. Well, I didn't update you guys on the last book that I need to do, JK. So book number 3, I ended up going with 4 stars. I just kind of feel like they're not getting answers. Like we're not getting answers. Like the questions we have aren't getting answered. And I have a feeling like we're going to get to the end of book 4 and it's not going to be answered the way that I want it to be answered, if that makes any sense. That's kind of where I'm at with it. A lot happened in book 3. Dino is not the sweet Dino starting in book 4. We finally got Jude back in the picture in book 3. Just a lot of shit happened. Things get taken care of, but still we have all these questions that we're not getting answered. We still have this ring and not getting answers. I'm just wondering now, like, when are we gonna get answers? Am I ever gonna get the answers that I want by the end of this book or not? So that's kind of just where I'm at. Book number 4 starting with us finally talking to Dino again, but like he's done like a whole 180, is being a big asshole right now, and just so much is going on. Like I said, I hope we get more answers on it. There's still a hit out on her. There's still a hit out on Lore, and we don't know where Dante truly stands. We don't know if he's actually like on her side or if he's against her. I feel with Dante, I feel like he's more on her side than anybody else's side. Everything he always does is for her. So I'm just waiting to see like how everything's kind of going to play out in this book on chapter 19. So let's hope to get this done. Let's hope to finish this book like here like in an hour or so. So I finished a Destiny of Carnage and I gave it 3.5 stars. I just felt like, I don't know if it was just not the pacing but like the timing in the book. It just threw me for a loop. It threw me off. I felt like we were missing gaps in between time. I didn't put together the little details. Well, not little details. It was huge. Big shock. But like there was no clues of these things. So I mean, I guess it's good that I didn't guess anything. I don't know. I just feel lost after reading it. I don't know if that makes any sense whatsoever. I do like the concept of the book. I do like that they were hitmans and she was basically without feelings, born that way. She was like made into what she is. Like have no feelings and not know what these feelings that she is feeling, what like they mean, I guess you can say in some type of way. I don't know. I feel like I was just missing something from this book. I did like all the characters. I did feel like, not that she could be naive, but she really didn't understand feelings or things like that. And it's obvious because they broke her. Not the guys, but like her father broke her. Just didn't see any of what happened at the end of this book. Like all the information we got in this book, I didn't see coming. It threw me for a loop, which is good, but at the same time, just like there was like no hints of like it's going the way that it was going. Yeah, so I'm gonna go with a 3.5 as a whole. I think the series is a 4 stars for me. It was just kind of gory, action-packed, and to the point. I like how, not that there's just mysteries, but like they're trying to do something for the good. It's not like she is a serial killer just to do that. She's a serial killer trying to make sure that these sickos don't do things to other kids, so she ends them. Like, you know what I mean? So overall, I thought it was really good. I don't kind of want to read another series by Mallory Fox. I don't know when I would ever get to it, but I do want to read something else to see if it was just how she writes or if I'm just delulu. I don't know. We'll see. We're gonna go right into So Wrong. If you guys don't know, I mean, So Real. So Wrong is the first book that I got an arc of as well, and I absolutely devoured it in a day. So here we are. We have So Real, which is right there. And I'm so excited for this. I love this series. I love Abby Millsap's writing. I'm gonna eat it up. I already know it. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to be back in this world and with these characters and just everything. I'm excited. This is following Hunter and her guys. The way that the last one ended on a huge cliffhanger, and I need to know how Greedy is feeling. So let's get right into it. I know I've been wearing this sweater for like the last 3 days, but it's just so cold in here, okay? And I usually just wear tank tops around my house or something like that, and then I just throw this over. So do not mind me, okay? Do not mind me. I know I'm a hot mess, and we have like 20 million of these. I live in sweaters through all seasons of life at this point. I came on here because I sat and thought about like the Violent Agenda series by Mallory Fox, and I think I'm gonna give that like an overall like a 3 stars. As I sit back and I was just thinking about it for a while, I was just like, there's just a lot of things that were mentioned. Sorry, you guys are gonna hear my dog. He's about to start barking at something. I think there's people across the street at the high school, and were never mentioned again that I felt like needed to be mentioned. Like, how do you just mention something as serious as we heard in this one and then like really not, or like mention it to Lore or anything like that? Like, you know what I mean? So I'm just confused. Also, Lore was not talking, but like his dad made him date like a mafia, I don't know if you would call her a princess. Her uncle's the Don or whatever. That's never mentioned because something really significant happens, but like then we find out who that Don actually is, and it didn't make sense, okay? Make it make sense. Like, why did this girl never appear? I'm just completely just like thrown for a loop when I'm going back and like thinking about the little details. Don't know why I'm doing it, but I was sitting here thinking about it while I was watching YouTube, and I'm like, I need to get on here and like talk about it, because I know before I was like, oh, this series is like a 4-star, but there's just a lot of little details that like were mentioned, never like clarified, or never like mentioned to the other characters or anything like that is throwing me for like a goddamn loop right now. Like, I'm literally sitting here like stressing about this. Why was that like never mentioned? Like, do the guys even know? Like, you know, little things like that I'm just like, I don't like feeling this way after reading a book, especially if the series is over. So I don't like feeling that way after already a complete series. So I think that's why I'm gonna go with a 3, because I did like the concept. I did like what I did read, but like little things, little details like what I just told you just throws me for a loop. Anyways, I'm reading So Wrong. Obviously we know that. I am, I think, 20 something% into it. I'm 29% into it, and I have 4 hours and 11 minutes left in the book, so it's not a really long book, which is nice. But I am feeling so bad for Hunter and Greedy, especially Greedy right now. He's just very hurt, betrayed. I think I said this in my last update about the book. And like, he's just not really coping well, but like we already know that he just doesn't cope well in general. I think he's just very angry about how things went about. And then we have Hunter, who's very guilty for everything that has happened and just hates that she keeps hurting him, because deep down inside she's always going to love him and have the feelings that she has for him. It's just very hard to kind of read. And then we have Sir Spence, that's his name, guys, figured it out, Sir Spence. We're gonna go like that because I don't know how to say his first name. Yeah, he's hot. That's all I got to say about him. He's hot. What I just read in the last like 2 or 3 chapters before where I'm at now, like, I was in bed like, what is going on? Never thought about any of this. What's going on? Currently also filling out my book journal. Guys, this is a really bad, it's gonna get worse, guys. It keeps going. I have missed months in books of things that I probably should have written down, but I just never written down. So the only thing I've been keeping up with is kind of just listing the books when I finish them. So I'm about to update here as well. It's going, guys. I'm kind of nervous to see how this ends. We do know there is going to be a 4th guy eventually comes in, because she has said there's 4 guys. I think he comes in at the end of this book, and I don't know how things are going to play out. I'm pretty sure that Grady and Levi are going to eventually maybe hook up with one another. I don't think it's gonna be hooking up because they have obviously they're best friends and there's something deeper there, but like I don't know how it's all gonna come together. Like I don't know if there's gonna be MM in this Why Choose group, so we're gonna see how that comes about. It might just happen while they're all interacting with one another, but I really just like Abby's writing. I think I said this in my last vlog where I talked about So Wrong, or if I talked about So Wrong. Writing is just very easy to just get it like consumed into. It's very rarely that you can find an author that makes you do that. Like with Chloe Walsh, I literally just feel like I seep into the pages and I just absorb it. Like I just absorb it like it's nothing. Like I blink and the book is over. I love when books feel that way, and she makes her writing just like that, where it's like you feel like you blink and then you're just like, I'm already done. Like no, like I need more now. So I'm really excited to get into that. I'm really hoping that I can finish that and then get right into Reckless to see like what happens in this, what's going to go down. I'm nervous, but I'm also excited. So we'll see. Obviously that one's not going to be in this vlog, but I'm just dying to read it. Everything is going well with reading. I'm really enjoying it. I'm liking where it's going. We're also seeing Levi. I love how I'm all over the place when I do these vlogs, and I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry because I'm just a hot mess. This is just literally how my mind works. I probably have ADHD and I don't even know it. Anyways, Levi is such a sweetheart. Like he's willing to let Sir Spence into their relationship if it means keeping her happy. And I'm just like, how? Like you're literally her boyfriend and you're just letting this happen? But I think he's more of like, whatever is gonna, he knows Hunter on a deeper level, just like Greedy. Like they all know her on a different type of level, okay? Greedy is just mourning the Hunter that he knew before, and also with everything he finds out in this book. Well, he found out the end of the last book, but like how it's going in this book, he's just trying to cope, I think, at this point. Like he's just trying to cope. He's very angry. He just feels like he's constantly losing her. She's constantly running away and choosing to just leave him behind. Honestly, it kind of sounds like he has PTSD. Like he's just very scared that she's gonna leave again because she is a runner. Lord knows it's gonna end at a cliffhanger, and I'm gonna have to wait for book number 3.
Not So Wrong. We have a new male who comes in who's a part of her harem. It's new, like they're not together, but like he showed up to help her because he's the one who helped her get through her depression while she was overseas and things like that. And his name is, I was gonna say Kebab. That's not it. What is his name? Sir something, I can't remember it, but there's just a lot. I don't know if I said this before, but like her mom is very toxic to her. Her mom is basically just a really selfish person and just makes her feel very terrible about herself, and her mom has been gone from her life for maybe the last 3-4 years or something like that. Hasn't called to check up on her, hasn't seen her during that time, kind of just always avoided her while she was overseas traveling as well those past years. Just a lot. So we're kind of seeing this at the beginning. Also, Sir, I forget what I was saying. Oh, he just shows up at Greedy's house, and that's where Hunter and Levi and them all live, drops a bombshell on them. Sir on him that he thought that Greedy knew, but obviously Greedy did not know. So there's just a lot of kind of tension going on, drama. Levi feels terrible because he knew this huge secret and never told him. So Greedy is basically feeling just hurt, betrayed by the 2 most important people in his life, and doesn't know how to really cope with it. Hunter and Sir's dynamic, and Levi knows that they obviously have had a past, and that he thinks that it was more than lovers. Levi is her actual boyfriend now. So there's just a lot of different components going on in this book, and I'm already loving it, like just eating it up. So Levi is bisexual in this book, so you kind of see, obviously he's into Hunter, but then there's also Greedy and him had something going on in the last book that they were just kind of just not figuring out. A scene happened and it kind of brought up questions for the both of them. So I'm gonna get back to the day ago, 2 days ago, because it's Thursday. Finished it Tuesday night, and I ended up giving that one 4.5 stars. I just feel like we got a lot of the past in this book about her and Sir Spence's relationship and how she was doing mentally while she was in Europe, traveling and things like that, how she was diagnosed with what she's diagnosed with. We also see the present where she's still struggling with a lot of things, but also very sensitive and emotional to Greedy as well. Like she knows that she's very sorry, but somehow she's still putting all the blame on herself. We're seeing her deal with her mom in this one, with her mom is very just a narcissist. The way that she treats Hunter is just out of this, just why? Also, this book was very, very spicy, which I was not expecting that whatsoever. I was with my mouth hanging open like, what am I reading? In like a good way, because I'm just like, what? I loved reading it. Like I just said, like little things just threw me off in Hunter's behavior. We got to see a little bit about Joey. We got to
see Joey in this one with her men, well, her 2 men in this one, which was nice. I thought overall it was a good book. I gave it 4.5. The first book I gave 5 stars. I love the first book. I don't know what it was about it. I think just being in Hunter's mind and her world and seeing the tension between Greedy and her was just everything in the first book. And in this one, I kind of feel like he kind of accepted everything really fast, and I thought he was going to be a little bit more like, it was going to take him a while to accept everything, but in this one he was like upset for a couple chapters and then bam. So I think it just threw me off. And those are all the books that I had to read as arcs in July, and I absolutely loved pretty much all of them, and I recommend all of them. I gave them all pretty good, decent stars. I want to say my favorites were probably 1,000 Broken Pieces and So Real. Those are just 2 authors that I really enjoy reading. Mallory Fox, I've never read a book by her, so it was like a brand new author to me and I didn't mind it. I do need to check out maybe some of her other books to really determine if she's the type of author that I like to read or not. But guys, that is the end of this arc vlog. So thank you guys all for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!